Folks, hey, welcome back. I'm hearing an echo. There's some weird stuff going on here, but welcome from the Queen City, that radio city we're in. Oh, turkeys fly, or do they not fly? A famous WKRP sign. Are you guys hearing an echo with me? Because I am. There's two of me in here, and one of them I really don't like. So there's some weird stuff going on. Okay, and you only hear me once, like not an echo? Audio's fine. Okay, well, then I'm going to have to do one of those weird things I've had to do on TV in the past and try to ignore myself as much of a loudmouth as I am. This is going to be difficult, and hopefully I will not screw it up. All right, cool. Listen, what I want to talk to you about today is we need Democrats like Gavin Newsom. Be Gavin Newsom. Don't be feckless Democrats in Washington. What do you do when a bully gets in your face? What do you do when a fascist takes over your government? Do you sort of get on your knees and say, everything's okay? We'll do whatever you want? Or do you fight them? Okay? Do you go up against them? Do you pull a Joe and Mika? Sneak on down to Mar-a-Lago? Get some bed bugs? Try out some of that awful food, find people with the worst kind of, the worst, I'm trying to find the words and I'm losing it, but let's just call it the worst plastic surgery you've ever seen in your life. Yeah, that's what Mika and Joe did. Or you can stand up and fight. So let's get back to Gavin Newsom. What did he do when Donald Trump won? He went to Washington, D.C. immediately to meet with Democratic Congress members about his priorities and to speak to cameras and let them know he was there. The guy who represents the fifth largest economy in the world, where, my phone disappeared for a second, damn it. The second, so where we make chips and where entertainment is, we have the center of entertainment. We've got farming up the wazoo and so many other industries that come out of it. What did he do? He said, I'm going to stand up for their interest. I'm going to stand up for my people's interest. He met with Democratic members of Congress. Did he meet with Donald Trump? No. He met with Joe Biden, no, about zero emissions cars, the kind of thing that Donald Trump is going to attack because he wants to get policy put in place ahead of time. Did he decide to hold a special legislative session and make a proclamation that California was not going to bow down to Donald Trump? You're damn right he did. Because he understands the value of PR. He understands the value of resistance. He understands the value of leadership. You don't just sit and crouch in a corner when this guy takes over. I mean, yes, not everybody has Gavin Newsom's leverage. With a huge state, 1/8 or 1/9 of our population? In the end, obviously the fifth largest economy and so much more, but it doesn't make it an excuse. If you're in Congress, I don't care if you're in a state legislature, I don't care if you're in a city council. Where are the proclamations that we will not harm LGBTQ citizens? We will not deport people for you. We will protect women's rights. You see, the media, when you say stuff like that, they cover it. They like conflict. Republicans get this. We just say, oh, well, there's nothing we can do. Not Gavin Newsom. So he's going to hold a special session, and he's going to do what he can to empower the judicial forces in California, as well as their prosecutorial forces. He sued the Trump administration over 100 times between 2016 and 2020. He won most of them. He's going to bolster their defenses, so when they have to defend themselves in court against Trump, they'll be ready and they'll fight him every step of the way. And there'll be other forms of resistance too. But the most important part is he stood up and he made a statement by being in D.C., by meeting with Joe Biden, by holding this special session. That, yeah, Donald, he admitted, he said, the majority of people voted for Donald Trump. That doesn't make him right. That doesn't make him decent. He said that to the cameras. I'm sure that pissed Trump off something fierce, and Trump's son's girlfriend, if you go way back. And here is the best of all of them. This is my favorite. So Trump has threatened now to pull away credits for electric cars. Now, what Trump would do, and the Republicans would do, Ron DeSantis, is they would threaten a specific company, which is illegal. And we have said we don't want to become them. We don't want to become a bunch of thugs who do things illegally. But creatively, you can go after these people. So the beauty of it is, and let me you. Gavin Newsom said that if the Trump administration revokes the $7,500 credit for EV vehicles, and California will offer the same credit as a replacement for cars purchased in their state. Here's where it gets good. Except for Tesla. Newsom said the tax credit will not apply to purchases of Tesla because he says the purpose of the new credit would be about, quote, creating market conditions for more of those car makers to take root. And Tesla's already out there, rather than existing companies who have already benefited from government largesse. Gets in a nice little jab there about the fact that Elon's only really existing on government largesse. Someone understands how to play hardball with these people, and that is Gavin Newsom. All right, I am done with my rant. I hope I didn't trip over my words too many times. It is incredibly strange hearing yourself in your ears. Maybe Tony can tell me how to get rid of the second me that is in here on stage. I don't know. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough freaking show, people. But I'm going to Tony in, and I'm going to.
So you got two so you're in this studio twice, right?
Correct. And I left and came back, and there's still two of me. One of them,
because you're in a separate window. You're in here in this. Yeah, stop the camera and turn that one off. Exit that one out of the studio. You should be able to exit.
So I do that one. Wait, edit mic settings on that one?
Yeah, turn the mic off on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Cut them off. Cut the other clip off. Yeah.
Reduce mic background noise. I'm still hearing myself. This is.
So you got two people on. You got just take. Yeah, you're gonna have to. You got two windows open. There's two StreamYard windows open where you're in this thing.
Ooh,
see, there you are. There you go. Cut that one off.
Wait,
go to a different window.
I'm trying.
Just exit out of that window. Exit out of it. You got a second window open. There you are. There you are.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm still hearing myself. This
sucks.
And now I'm hearing you weird too. God damn it. Now I probably just lost my.
You got two windows open is what you've got.
I know, and I didn't open both of them. The second one just opened on me.
No, I'm saying you got two Chrome tabs open. You need to close one of the Chrome tabs in StreamYard. That's what you got.
Chrome tab.
Yeah. You open it in Chrome, right? You open it in Chrome.
I did.
Yep, and you got two of them open. You're in both of them, and you're active in both of them. So you got to turn. You got to exit. You just exit out of a Chrome tab, and then go to the other Chrome tab.
What magic? Let's see.
And that's why you're in there twice, because you're in the room in one Chrome tab, and then you went and you opened up another.
Hello, Chrome. I can hear myself only once.
Yeah,
guys, you have to all admit that was the freaking coolest ever rant done with somebody hearing themselves in their ears and an echo of themselves, so that like I couldn't get away from me. That's like, I feel like torture at some point, where people will make me listen to myself all the time. And I think that's probably cruel and unusual punishment, right? I don't know. So that's what it was. It was in two different Chrome tabs. Wow. You learn new stuff all the time. All right. Well, hopefully most of that rant made sense. I'm going to bring in Matt McNeil too. And then we'll have three voices in here, but only one of them will still be mine.
My plan to take down Cliff's show failed.
Damn you, McNeil. All right. So listen, guys. You all know who the great Tony Michaels is. Matt McNeil is based in Minneapolis. If you think about the lack of, he contributes some to this channel and gives me some great rants. If you think about the lack of infrastructure on our side, Matt can speak to it almost as well as anybody, because he's at an independently owned progressive station, brilliant political commentator, coming out of the Midwest, where we theoretically want to win people over, a white guy that goes to church.
Theoretically, whoa, back up. Theoretically, do you hear this guy, Matt? He's like living in New Yorker in Cincinnati. He's like,
sarcasm. Is what that was supposed to be, Tony.
I'm in Canada South here, so you know.
Okay, yeah.
Minnesota, we go.
You're a Canuck light.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Listen, we're a party that says that all the time we want to be able to win white men who go to church, who were in the military, all this kind of stuff. That is literally the definition of Matt. And yet, where's the billionaire putting him on nationally, as he also is a passionate and brilliant voice for our issues? Where are you? Come on.
I'm sure.
Where are
I'm
you?
sure
You out
Matt, considering that he would eat the rich, would probably prevent the rich from funding him.
Good marbling. I'll eat anything. And
okay. Well, there you go.
A little sauce on the side. I'm good.
You certainly are from Minneapolis if you'll eat anything. That's true.
Oh no.
Well,
no.
I got to tell you, like, Matt actually took me around. He took me some of the best food places, and I was there performing in the Sexy Liberal Comedy Show. Yeah. Matt was kind enough to take me on a tour, Minneapolis, took me to some great restaurants. He knows where it's all going on.
I know everything's going on. I will say this: it is frustrating. I am on AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and just if I can, quick plug.
And everybody, please listen to him because he's great. Seriously,
well,
I'm not just saying that.
Well, thank you. And I'm on in Chicago on WCPT at 9:00 at night, and in Seattle at KKNW over there. And I like doing this. But this station used to be one of the original Air America stations.
Oh, okay.
And it was started by Bill Luther, who was one of the former congressmen, and Janet Robert, and it was, like all these stations, they actually had a network going. And this was my first sign of how bad the Democrats were getting pantsed on the messaging and communication side, was to watch what ended up happening to Air America. Because quite literally, conservative millionaires were walking into Air America stations and just buying the station out from underneath them. I've heard a story, I can't confirm it, that actually they tried to do that with my station, that the local wealthy person came on in and said, how much do you want for this radio station? And I'll buy it straight out from you. And that's how they took him off the air. I mean, progressive radio should work in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Boston. It should work. It just is what ended up happening is the conservatives stopped it from even going forward. And let's also call it what it was. The Democrats have a bad habit of like, hey, thanks a lot. We're not going to support you. We're really not going to use you, but you keep doing that and we sure like you. And, if tomorrow.
That's my entire last 20 years, Matt.
Yeah. if tomorrow I said, I'm a born again MAGA, tomorrow I would have a mid 6-figure salary. I would have a national show. I would have a book deal. I would have a tour. I would have consistent TV appearances.
Contributorship on Fox and down seat at the American Enterprise
You would be the libtard who turned. That would be.
Look at this guy, isn't he great? And they would love me on progressive radio.
We're acting like this is just a theory, though, Matt. I don't mean to cut you up, but like we have proof. Yes. There are people with names like Glenn Greenwald and Matt Taibbi and Jimmy Dore. And I mean, and we know some of the places they've gotten money from because it's
Tulsi Gabbard.
The best person in Russia. This isn't theory.
Yeah, right.
Yes, this isn't theory. I remember, if some of you guys know, a friend of mine, terrific journalist. He was writing for Rolling Stone for a while. Wrote, I think, for Salon for a while. Joshua Holland, who's been out there for a while. He still does a podcast and whatever. And he used to always joke about this. And when Taibbi did it, he's like, I can't believe it. Taibbi actually did it. He's like, we've been joking for years that if any of us would become wingnuts and go to the crazy right, we could become rich. And he's like, Taibbi actually just went ahead and did it. And that's the thing is, I mean, my life would be a joke. It'd be easy. I'd spend most of my life asleep. And then I'd write a book every once in a while, write a column once a week, do a couple of these. And either somebody at Heritage would be paying me, or somebody at RT would be paying me through Heritage.
And talk about trans bathrooms and brown people coming into the country. You would, that's all you got to do.
I have this weird thing that's called a conscience, and other weird thing called empathy. So it's not going to happen. But the point being that again, they don't understand how demoralizing that is, and that thankfully for me. I'm an entrepreneur. I started a few companies based around politics, one or two not based around politics, where I did well enough that I could keep doing this stuff. But as I keep repeating, we've lost a generation. I had a couple of the best communicators I would say I've ever met who surrounded me on various Senate campaigns, presidential campaigns I've worked on, they're gone because they had nobody supporting them. Nobody would give them that $250,000 endowed seat at some think tank. Nobody would give them that book deal except for, hey, here's a $25,000 advance and a pat in the ass. Good luck. You know, here's we don't have a station to give you a contributorship at, but you can go on. Here's a couple stations you can go on for free. And
well,
they're just like, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to just say, I don't know if you guys ever heard this, and I'll leave some names out of here. But when Ed Schultz stopped doing his radio show, this network approached a few fairly well-known progressives and said, we'd love for you to take over. And they said, okay, how much will you be willing to pay? Well, you have to do it for free for a year. We're not talking about, schmucks like me. We're talking about recognizable, well-known progressive voices. And they were being told, if you want to do this, you have to do it for free. And then we'll see about paying you. Okay. It just is, that's all you need to know about. And that's multiple people that were told that. That's all you need to know about how this is our messaging is getting destroyed. I mean, it's somewhat self-induced, but it also is you're working against a machine that when a new element comes up, like Twitter, they'll just go buy it and drive it into the ground. And basically,
and MSNBC is where he wants to do it next. And unless somebody steps up on our side, he will do it. Yep. No one will stop him unless somebody steps up. And the problem is I'm not sure if he's doing it in service of Russia and whatever, that he obviously has more money than anybody else, even though he's finding lots of ways to lose lots of it. Who's going to outbid him?
Well, I feel as if it's kind of one of those things that progressives are dreamers, and they're like, wouldn't it be great if we had this great messaging system? Well, welcome to the party, pal. I mean, anytime you want to do this, you're more than welcome to. We got a sales department. You can go talk to them. Well, not you. You're like, okay,
right. They always find excuses. I have been so close. I used to go and pitch these things. I pitched. You remember when there was Current TV? Yeah. When that was our little attempt, and then Gore sold it off. Yeah. Remember there
wasn't Granholm. Wasn't Granholm one of the? She was one of the anchors.
She was one of the hosts. I went there, and again, if I told you the offer they made me, was it free? No, but there's Tony's show, your show, Matt, where I go on once a week, once every 2 weeks. You give some time in, you promote your own stuff. Fair, reasonable, right? When you're going on for large periods of time, for example, Bob Seska, who I've now joined as a co-host, is paying me because I'm putting in an hour and a half, more than that, because I get on the pre-show and we plan it out. That's a 2 to 3 hour gig every Tuesday. And being that he's not a complete a-hole, his thing is you should make some money for it. But even he, of course, is making what he's making because he's talented. He was always a radio guy who went into this stuff. Nobody gave him any money. And Current sat there and wanted me to come on numerous nights a week, put in my time, not be with my kids, not be able to do the other work I need to do. And I won't even tell you what they offered me because you might actually just start vomiting. No. I mean, the only place that ever paid me fairly to go on TV, just think about this, folks, was Sinclair. Yeah.
Yeah, the right wing station. They're like, yeah, we'll pay for you to come on, even though you have liberal views. We need the opposite views, so we'll pay you a bunch of money to have the opposite view on our station because they understand how that stuff works.
Spacco, who gets this stuff too, because we've been talking for years about it. Yeah, Sinclair, even though they paid, of course, the right winger significantly more than me, and they actually got that it was good drama if there were fireworks. So they didn't care, they didn't just want a wimpy liberal or I wouldn't have lasted long. I feel like the vast majority of times I went on, I looked at it as a challenge that I beat the crap out of the guy I was up against as well as the host and their BS points. And they actually paid me pretty decently. Not great, not whatever money, but I mean, it is a joke. It is a joke that Tony has built this successful thing. What do you have? 150,000 subscribers or something? You've got this big chat room, that you've helped me grow mine by bringing folks over here. And nope, nothing. It is a joke that Matt McNeil, holds down the fort in Minneapolis and has been put on in Chicago and has been put on in Seattle, is a terrific radio personality, has radio experience, which translates over greatly to this stuff, knows every detail, the both of you guys and your voices. Nope. And, people can look me up. I'm not going to praise myself and sit there and talk about my own whatever. Let's just say I have a hell of a lot of experience in TV and radio and that kind of stuff. And I think I've built a pretty good, solid channel here. And
the other thing I'll say about that, because it really infuriates me, because we got a lot of creators out there that sell to some of these organizations, and they sell their content. They basically have another organization own their content, and they give away. Not only do they work for free, they give away part of their content for someone to promote them and for someone to broadcast and make a ton of money off their content. That goes on. That's rampant on the left. That's rampant on the left, because they want to take advantage of the influencer and the personality, and they want to consolidate them under their own brand and put slap their logo on that person, and then take advantage of their creative ability and not really give them what they're worth too. They give them pittance compared to what they get when they actually start to own their content, and that goes on rampant on the left too. And if we get more honest about this stuff, if we start to amplify this stuff of how it works, and I know, Matt, you said you don't want to name names, but if we start to point to these people who do some of this stuff, like I pointed out Destiny.
The thing about Tony is he'll
I don't
name
care.
names.
I'll name names. Hassan Piker and Destiny on the left, they have a little thing going on. They got a feud going on, and they go at each other. And they make
Who's the second one you said?
Hassan Piker.
I know who he is.
Destiny. Destiny's another liberal who's a streamer.
I don't know.
He's a streamer online. He's a streamer, and that's the thing is and they make these money on their streams, and they make money doing this WrestleMania thing where they kind of go at each other, and they got a feud going, and they get people to go in their streams and it post up ads and that sort of thing. And that's kind of the new style media. That's the new place that media has had. But the problem is that the messaging there really, really stinks. Mm-hmm. It's terrible because they don't know about elections. They don't know about they really have no concept about the politics.
They're just trying to build audience, as you said.
Right.
They're going back and forth at each other.
They're being the car wreck on the side of the road. They're waiting for people to slow down. There's no substance to it. It's just gawkingness.
Right. The three of us should do that. Let's get in like three-way fights where we all insult each other.
I really think, and I attacked Hassan because he did a little thing on CNN because Hassan's popular, so they went to Hassan to ask him questions about shit he doesn't know about. In my opinion, these are my opinions. But here's the thing: is that I on my show today I said Hassan and I should start a feud. I'll start a feud with Hassan because that will get the more working class type messaging in front of Hassan's audience, and it'll get the more working class type messaging in front of working class people because people will be paying attention to, hey, there's a leftist out there who's willing to attack the left, and it's kind of nuts. And he's got a backwards hat and a beard, and he's from the Ozarks, right? Like, and not to elevate me.
But is he gonna hit you back? Do you think you can draw him in?
No, he won't. He won't hit me back because he knows one thing. Certainly, Hassan knows that if he hits me back, I'll come back even harder, and that I will start to affect his appeal. And that's the thing about these people who are elevated.
Can we both hit them together and see?
Sure. I'm trying. I'm trying
pretty good at getting under people's skin when I want to.
I know. I'm trying my best to get underneath some of the people who have some of the worst messaging skin. And doing this. So.
Well, let me,
in any case, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Well, a few things if I can. First of all, one thing that you said, Cliff, that is so true, is that the idealists and the dreamers of the left, okay, when Air America started and stuff, it was a bunch of Democrats who were dreamers as opposed to radio people. You needed radio people that went in there with the conscious decision to program progressive talk. That's why our station still exists. We're still radio. We have chosen the format of progressive, and that's why we do it. We also have a problem with, and as Tony was talking about, and Tony, we can start a fight right now. How dare you, sir? No. But as Tony was talking about there, you've got too many people that are only concerned about themselves, their own image, their own this. They don't give a crap about the left.
Their numbers and their money.
Exactly.
Yes.
But as well, it's a misguided idea of what messaging is. and a cohesive message that carries over. Republicans are a freaking machine when it comes to this. That every Republican from Alaska to freaking Miami is on the same boat, talking the same talking points, hitting the same things over and over again. You know, a Republican, it could be asked to be on a radio show in northwestern Minnesota. A Republican up there could be asked to be in the southeastern part of the state of Minnesota, and they'll say when and where. I, as the sole progressive radio station in the Twin Cities, will call up Democrats and say, hey, I'd love to come on. You can talk to the base. I don't know. There's a country station down in Owatonna that hates our guts, and they might give me 5 minutes later. And you're like, you guys are just, you have to rethink how you're messaging. And I don't know if you really can do it with what we have today, whether that's radio or television or streaming, but you've got to find something right now because your message is getting drowned out.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
No, it just that the message is getting drowned out because there just isn't a cohesive message that understands how to portray this to the American people, as opposed to individuals who are dreamers talking about that feel like politics is some sort of movie where the end of it, the music comes up, we're arm in arm, we're marching into the sunset and roll credits and we're all done. And it's not that. I mean, there's another election in 2 freaking years. And if you don't get off your damn ass, you're going to lose like 2010.
But that's the key right there. I mean, here we are, right? The three of us sitting here, which I don't know when the last time, this may be a record for the Democratic Party, 3 people sitting in 3 different parts of the Midwest actually conversing. And somehow New York and LA hasn't gotten into it. I mean, I don't even get it. And yes, I'm wearing my Yankees hat. And yes, I'm from New York, but I live in Cincinnati now. And what happens in this state and what just happened in this state is what affects my life and my kids' lives. We're going to have to live with Bernie Moreno now and Sherrod Brown gone. We're going to have to live with the fact that the Secretary of State here lied his arse off and basically BS'd everybody so that people couldn't tell the difference of which position would get rid of gerrymandering and which would keep it. So he fooled them with the language. And even though 70% wanted to get rid of gerrymandering, we ended up not voting to do it. Thank you for the Cliff Get Destiny. He has talked to BTC. Okay. Locomotion, $1.99. Thank you. Now I don't know who BTC is. So,
Brian Tyler Cohen. I attacked him on pushing the limits yesterday. I just attack everyone. Matt, you better not get in my way, and Cliff better not get in my way either. No, I'm just kidding. You guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I got to go. I've got something that I can handle.
Well, you two need to talk because you two should be on each other's shows because you're two.
Oh, we should.
Guys who have the
Tony,
appeal.
Good.
Open invite, Tony. You can come on my show
anytime. Smart Midwestern voices, white guys who have appeal to
don't boost my ego with intelligence. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't tell the audience lies.
You're a backward hat wearing, you're a backward hat wearing, kielbasa eating, frickin' Ozarkian fool. Now get out of here.
That's it. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Nice to see you, Matt. And audience, happy Thanksgiving.
There you go.
All right. I love him. He is too much fun.
Well,
go ahead.
He's right. By the way, I thought BTC is that the new Korean K-pop band? I don't know.
Yeah, this guy. We got it. Lefty. Who put that up there? Lefty Gramps. LaRose is our Secretary of State who took, and of course the Supreme Court's controlled. One of the members is Mike DeWine's son. Is controlled by these right wingers. Sat there, took this anti-gerrymandering that would have been obvious and would have gotten 70+% of the vote, and literally rewrote the language against to make it sound like it was for. I mean, and then they put millions of ads behind mixing people up, and we lost by a couple percentage points.
So
in Ohio,
so in Minnesota, we actually lost a little ground here. We now have a tied Minnesota House, which will be a delight because this is going to be a train wreck in slow motion. But we lost a little ground. And the theory I have on it is that Angie Craig was the U.S. Congresswoman from the Minnesota 2nd Congressional District, which is southeastern metro suburbs, plus a lot of farm country. She ran a campaign of, I really don't like the Democrats. I really am. I fight my own party more than anyone else. So it was this misguided idea that abandoned the entire platform in an attempt to appeal to a handful of Republicans. And there you go. The problem was in Minnesota, because Amy Klobuchar did. You and I talked many times. She didn't really
Yes.
have a race. She didn't win. So she became Angie Craig became kind of the premier race that was focused on. And because the messaging from that race was "I hate Democrats" from a Democrat, it kind of hurt the rest of the Democratic Party in the state. Did you get a lot of that in Ohio, where you had this, once again, we don't need a platform. You liberals and progressives, shut up and just vote for me. We're going to talk about how we're going to try to win 20 votes from the right.
See this, and again, this does go into the broader conversation about our lack of a year-round ability to reach people. Because again, I get that Democrats are up against it, because you have to undo so much of the garbage, the conspiracies, the lies that they've been telling, and say, "Ooh, I see your doggy in the back.
Yeah,
Your puppy,
that little fluffy puppy back there." Yeah,
that's right. So, just don't let the new Homeland Security person near your puppy, please.
Yeah.
If you hear the words gravel pit, run. That's all.
Gravel
I'm
pit,
say.
you say? All right. Who doesn't love a trip to the gravel pit?
And you know what's interesting about that? I had to say to somebody today. I had to say, actually, one of the better. I was actually talking to the wife of a former Republican elected official here, who is a moderate Republican, who, of course, is no longer a Republican and no longer votes for Republicans, even if he doesn't say it out that loud. I was talking to his wife today, and I was saying, do you realize that, like, one of the actual better members of Trump's, so far nominated cabinet took her puppy to a gravel pit and shotgunned it to death? Like, that's literally one of the better members.
And the
to
goat.
Sort of tell you,
and the goat.
And
what
the
did
goat.
the goat do, man? You just go out there.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's
so. There's, but I didn't mean to get off of there on that. Where were we? Where were we before I got into gravel pit McGee there? We were talking about, Angie. So here's the thing that I can't say. Look, there are times where it's very difficult to win. Everybody makes the fallacy of the one cause. I only lost because of this, or I won because of this. There are times you can run the perfect campaign and lose.
Yeah.
I don't think Kamala Harris ran a perfect campaign. I think she ran a terrific campaign and still lost for a number of reasons. But here's what I can promise you. You are in, there are many fewer split ticket voters these days. You are in a branding war 24/7. And if your strategy is to say the Democratic Party sucks, but I'm not one of them, but it says D next to your name, you're going to frickin' lose.
Yep.
Okay? Doug Jones didn't run that race when he pulled it out in Alabama. Tester, who won numerous times before this one. Sherrod Brown, who won numerous times. This time with Trump at the top of the ticket, I'm hoping Sherrod Brown actually runs for the open seat, because I think without Trump at the top of the ticket, he can win again in 26 for the open J.D. Vance seat. But they never ran that kind of a race. Whereas Tim Ryan here did run that kind of a race, and we saw what happened against J.D. Vance. When you run a race like that and you apologize for your party instead of standing up and saying, forget brands, forget labels, here's what my party stands for and I stand for. And you put it in regular terms, you tell stories, you talk about helping people, you do all of that. That is how you get folks winning. That's how you get, I can't think of her name, the governor of Kansas who won. Who's a Democrat, that's how you get.
Is that Hochul in there or something like that?
It's not Hochul's New York. I can't think of her name. But okay, yeah. Andy Beshear in Kentucky.
There you go.
I mean, you have to have abilities too. He's got a natural charisma, but he goes up into the Appalachians and just talks to people about what they need. Granted, you can't always do that, and there's always going to be things like racism and sexism involved. He's a white male. Again, I'm not saying it's none of this stuff is fully equal. But I'm saying if Andy Beshear had run that race saying Democratic Party sucks, you guys are right, they don't do this right, they don't do that right, but I'm a different guy, he would have lost.
Well, and what's crazy,
you can't win attacking your own side. You just can't.
What's crazy is in Minnesota 2 years ago, back in 2022, you had a unified Democratic Party that ran on populism. And sometimes the populism is a progressive topic. Sometimes the populism is a moderate topic. But they were all issues that basically people agreed on. And it wasn't stuff that they shied away from. It was just, this is what they are. They won overwhelmingly. They got a ton of stuff done. And what happens? And the Democrats have this bad habit of doing this because the moderates, if I just win 20 Republicans, I'm going to win by one vote. And you just don't understand. Sitting there and bashing on your own party is not a winning strategy. All you do is turn off voters. When you look at this election, Donald Trump really didn't win it. Democrats stayed at home. I mean, he basically got the same amount of votes as he's gotten the last few elections. The Democrats stayed at home. 120 million people that could have voted in this country did not vote. And I can tell you what, there's a lot of Democrats who basically got pissed off at this whole notion of, oh, you got to be moderate. You got to be Republican light. I mean, someone told me, I think maybe you, is Harry S. Truman, the quote from him, where basically he said, if you give them a choice of Republican or Republican light, they're just going to go for Republican. So
they're going to go for the real thing every time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But my problem is that you even can run as a moderate, but be proud of who your party is and make the argument of we're the party that has always supported unions and a livable wage. We're the party that has fought for women to get equal rights. We're the party, you can go through all that and you name individuals, tell stories. Again, Doug Jones was moderate. What's his face? Mark Kelly is moderate. There are people that I always try to explain the difference because it would frustrate me when they would conflate the Kirsten Cinemas and Joe Manchins with like the John Testers and Mark Kellys. Here's the difference in Doug Jones's. Those three, the latter three, are moderate, but they never talk down their own party. They never talk down their own leaders. They spoke about how proud they were of their tradition, and their tradition is a Democrat. I'm a Democrat, and I'm a fourth generation farmer, like what John Tester would talk about, and Sherrod Brown would talk about his time, in labor unions and all that. I mean, they always would make that connection and defend it. There's nothing wrong with being moderate. I would call myself probably in the center left. I'm to the left of moderate, definitely. I'm really liberal. It would define me pretty well. Okay. But I'm to the left. I don't agree with Tester and everything, Doug Jones and everything, Mark Kelly and everything, but they still fought for their party and fought for common values and stood up for it. So I don't care because I'm with just the way there are people to the left of me that I will happily support. Well, even if I don't agree with them on everything, you can be to the left of me, to the right of me, but you have to be for pushing your party, supporting your agenda, and winning. It's when you become, I don't care which side you're from, if you're Rashida Tlaib from the left, or if you're Joe Manchin from the right, the minute you start attacking your own party and undermining it, you suck. And as far as I'm concerned, go away. I don't care what your politics are.
Tim Walz is another great example of this. Tim Walz is a more moderate side. I think he's not as more moderate as some of these people, but he's moderate. I've shared the story with you. I asked him back when he was a congressman down in the Minnesota, the Minnesota 1st District. When he was a congressman, I asked him a question about food aid. And what came out of his mouth was the greatest answer I've ever heard from any Democrat about food aid. It wasn't, I don't agree with, some people need to work for food. It wasn't this crap ass mentality of I've got to try to appeal to some Republicans, so let me downplay it. He said, no, first of all, I got farmers that got food on I got crops in the field. They need to get to market. I'm going to give them a fair market price. They get paid for producing the product, and I'm going to take that food and give it to hungry people. What's the problem here? This is a really good idea. And I was like, how in the world are you this good at this? While there are so many moderate Democrats who admit it's like, well, unless the Republicans let me sit with them at the lunch table, I'm a loser. And you just like, stop. You have to have a party platform. You have to have a consistent message. And if you don't have that, you're screwed. And having a Democrat who is your premium race in a state sit there and badmouth the party is really, really stupid. I mean, come on. Well, again,
man. Do you see Republicans doing that in California or New York? You never see that. You'll see them say, I disagree with my party's position on this. I stand for that. But you will never hear them say, oh, the Republican Party is just too far to the right on this. They're crazy. And you hear people like Joe Manchin say that all the time. The mine-owning bastard that he is, who's making $500,000 off of a family mine that he did nothing but inherit, that's doing nothing but polluting West Virginia further, one of the poorest states. But we got to listen to this guy lecture us on climate change, I mean, it's amazing. I'll say quickly just one thing, Matt. I'll say to the left, you guys, I wish that this were a possibility, but that's the thing about DeWine, is he's more decent than, he's not a DeSantis. He's not an Abbott. He did the right thing, at least for a lot of the time on COVID. He spoke up a little bit on Springfield, but he's never had the courage or the guts. Because if he did, this was his last election, except for 4 years, I want to say. The man has been in office since 1972. like when I was born. He's been in office. Greene County prosecutor, state house, state senate. Then he was a congressman. Then he was lieutenant governor. Then he was a senator. Then he took 4 years off and taught. Then he was AG and now governor, his second term. It's like he shouldn't have anything to fear. He should come out and do the right thing. He knows that the far right's nuts. He never would say good stuff about Trump, but he's not going to do it because they're cowards, all of them. And that's the problem.
The messaging, you never have to apologize, dude. Man, you're spot on. And I will say too that, okay, so where do we go from here? I mean, we've already just kind of unveiled a few things. First of all, don't shoot yourself in the foot with your messaging. Get a better message.
Or your dog in the gravel pit.
Or the gravel pit, or the goat. Don't leave the goat out of this. What are you doing with the goat, man?
I know. Well, dogs. I like goats. I love dogs. So maybe it's just nothing against. You should never shoot a goat. I agree. Dogs. I mean, dogs are like, if I had my way, dogs and cats would just take over the earth. The evolution would happen. They'd get rid of us like the dinosaurs because I think we've done all the damage we can do. We're done. We have not proven ourselves, and it would be dogs and cats next. And cats would evolve thumbs, and then they would rule. There you go.
You got to get out there. You've got to find a better way to message this stuff because right now, begging for time on Fox News is not doing you any good. And I understand. Well, we got to go talk to these people there. They don't like you. And once again, 120 million people did not vote. Stop focusing on 20 people on the right and focus on the 20 million people, which you managed to get turned out in 2020, but you haven't gotten now. And the reason why is you're not inspiring anybody by basically talking about how bad things are for the party. You got to find a better way to message it. But I will also say something, going back to something else you said earlier. Someone put this out. This is a meme I saw today. It's basically conservatives come after you and they say your ideals are radical. And the response is, I just want everyone to have food, water, shelter, and healthcare. That's what I want. I mean, if I
is that radical? I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's called. I mean, and I forgive everyone out there. I'm going to give my
Koch
religious
brothers might have to give up one of their yachts for that. So we wouldn't want that to happen.
I'm going to give my religious disclaimer to everyone. You do or don't do whatever it is you do or don't want to do. Okay, I'm a Christian. I'm not here to convert you. I'm just basically using as a Christian. That's the gospel of Matthew. Give them food, give them water, give them shelter, give them healthcare, welcome in strangers from strange lands. That's what you're supposed to do. All these fake Christians on the right, they've thrown out the 4 gospels and they basically just go with extra Leviticus. Now, that being said,
oh my God, it's like Leviticus plus. So like, can we take Leviticus but add torture on top of it? Yes.
And double Romans. Yay, great.
All right,
exactly. No, but I will say, I mean, that's a simple message. And trust me, considering what the Trump administration is about to do, saying, hey, we're going to get you food, water, shelter, and healthcare, and it's not going to bankrupt you. There's a good starting point right there because that's a simple message. And if every freaking Democrat can't say that, then what are you doing in the Democratic Party? And so I think you start with something like that, and then you can evolve it past that.
But the problem, Matt, I'll just say again, and you know this, is the Bible, Jesus, whatever, they're symbols like the American flag. You know, the American flag stands for the Declaration of Independence. It stands for the Constitution. It stands for Seneca Falls. It stands for, the Edmund Pettus Bridge. There's so many things it stands for, but not to them. To them, it's a symbol. To them, it just means, first of all, they couldn't find their Confederate flag, so they had to go with an American one. And second, it just means it's a symbol of we're the best, we're the coolest. Yeah, go USA, USA. Even though Elon Musk can't even do that on beat because he's that much of a loser. But in any case, that's what the message is. And the cross, they don't know. This isn't some William Jennings Bryan speech about being hung on a golden cross. You put that in front of most of these people, when the average American at this point reads at a 6th or 7th grade level, they won't get halfway through that and have any idea what the hell that means.
Yeah.
Well, you can't read, the Good Samaritan. You can't read that and then sit here and want to deport freaking millions of people.
The gospel of Matthew. Exactly. You can't. And by the way, when I say this, I want to give everyone food, water, shelter, and healthcare. It's based in Christianity. We all can agree that's a good thing, right? Clean water, food, cheap, affordable food, cheap healthcare. These are affordable things. Republicans, as you said with the flag, let me give you a great example. You know why they want to teach the Bible in school is because they're too lazy to get off their damn asses on a Sunday morning and take their kid to church because I got 8 hours of NFL pregame to watch.
I was just saying, there's football, man.
There's football going on. You want me to go to church? Dude, you can take your kid to church any day of the week. Any day of the week. And your lazy asses want someone else to do it for you. Get off and grow up and do it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just have to say this. I don't know the last time I was in a church. I did go to a liberal Episcopalian school in New York City, Grace Church. It was wonderful. That even in the 70s, late 70s in New York, was integrated in a way a lot of New York was not. And I had people, all different kinds of people. I was Jewish. I was there. There were at least a class of 30. There were 5 to 7 Jews. There were a number of folks who were black, who were, so there's so I was in those churches for years. But I'm going to tell you, I have not been in a church now for I don't know how many years. But if I'm given the choice on a Sunday at this point of watching the Giants, the Bengals, or going to church, I will go to church. That's honestly, I have 2 teams, and they've both found a way to suck as badly as any team can suck. So as far as I'm concerned, just point to the nearest church. I'm happy to, if it lets me avoid those games, I will go. That's what I'm trying to say.
We're going to 2 services this weekend.
Exactly.
Cliff, I've got to take off here, but with it being Thanksgiving, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Oh my gosh, I am a stuffing-aholic. I could just eat that stuff all day and all night.
What kind of stuffing? What kind of stuffing? What's your go-to kind?
What is it that
cornbread, wild rice, traditional?
Oh, we do. Yeah, we have some cornbread in there. That's definitely in there, and some. I'll get the exact kind of mixture of what's in there because my wife, the Sicilian part of the family, and my wife gets it from my late mother-in-law, and I mean, their cooking is just amazing. Fantastic. I'm the guy who's like, I think I burnt the toast, but the eggs look okay. I can scramble them. That is
they bounce. They bounce.
They bounce. That's the extent of my talent in this area. But you, from what I see, because I'm not on Facebook that often, but here and there, and then I see you put up these nice dishes you make. I'm like, why can't that guy cook for me? I'm willing to trade teams if you're willing to cook. No, I'm kidding. My wife is I mean, and not that she needs to be a fantastic cook. She just is, and it's a nice thing.
If I've got wild rice stuffing, I'm with you. Stuffing's my number one call. I'm also a sucker for that damn green bean casserole, man. They came up with gold with that sucker. They came up with gold with that.
That's really good in any sweet potato, anything.
Yeah.
Especially when they put like the kind of like the whipped cream stuff on it or what. Oh my
marshmallows.
God.
Yeah. They put the marshmallows on.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Marshmallows. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fun day. I went to the gym today. I'll be going tomorrow too, because that is unbutton the, take the belt off day and just let it fly.
The slowest run of the year is my Friday morning run. It's all of a sudden I've lost 3 or 4 minutes on my time. Cliff, I was going to say,
I'll make the joke and I'll let you go. I was going to say, what we do is we call that Matt Gaetz Day, because you take your belt off right away when you, okay. I know that's horrible. I keep my pants on, so it's really not Matt Gaetz Day.
Oh,
listen, we have to have you back. Just before you leave, absolutely tell everybody here where they can find you, because you should have 1 billion listeners in the perfect world. You'd be the most listened to radio host. In any case, I could just gush about you all day, Matt. So go ahead and tell people.
All right. I'm broadcasting live 3 to 5 Central in Minneapolis, St. Paul on AM 950, WCPT in Chicago, KKNW in Seattle at nights for both of those. You can also podcast me on iTunes and all the usual places. Follow me on Blue Sky, Matt McNeil Show. On Threads, it's Matthew McNeil 1. It's on Facebook. It's on Mastodon. I'm over there as well. And I like it when you reach out and touch me. So,
that's kind of risque for here. Also, you can find some of his great video rants at Cliffs_Edge, my YouTube channel. You should all subscribe to, because Matt's kind enough to send us some of his 5 to 12 kind of minute rants, and we usually put up at least 1 a week. Sometimes 2 or 3, depending upon how many he's got for us. So seriously, all I can tell you guys is, you want to support Liberal Radio. If we want to win, if you want to support this stuff, if we're not just all talking here and we really want this to succeed, let's start with, even before we build the new infrastructure. Why don't we just boost the infrastructure that's in place? You absolutely can't go wrong listening to Matt. He does talk about Minneapolis and Minnesota issues in general. He also talks about national issues. It's a good place to be.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And thank you very much. I'd love to come back. And of course, I'll have you back on my show before too long. Okay, my friend?
Absolutely. You're awesome. Thanks, buddy. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, man. All right. So we're gonna answer some questions. Oh, you said hi earlier, Diane Capobianco, and I always bring you up because I love your last name. I'm sure you're very nice too, also, but Capobianco. Can't help it. Italian side of my wife's family. I kept this up here, Spacco. I hope you're still with us. I'm sorry, but we were talking about some things. Yes, stories are good for messaging, so are jokes. There's some Democrats that naturally have it. Jared Moskowitz is pretty damn funny. Eric Swalwell is pretty funny. Jasmine Crockett, as you said, Jamie, you probably meant Jasmine. A lot of others are too. I think it's essential. I've actually been that guy sometimes. I mean, I've been a speechwriter for certain Democrats, or write remarks to them, and I always include jokes. I don't know if there's a specific joke writer, but we should have that. They do it for those stupid things they do with the press, right? The gridiron dinner and whatever. They should do it all the time. I'm going to put this up there. Oops, hold on. So you all know where you can find Matt because he's fantastic. What else do we got, guys? So I think we'll hang out here for a little bit. You can ask me some stories. I will definitely highlight your comment, question, whatever. If you'll come and give me, come on, folks. Can we do it? Can I get one member? Can I get one, super chat? We've been low in the super chats, whatever. And I got to tell you, we're doing some economics right now. I want to add to this show, but this is all I can do at this point. I have to. Some of that I need to work out on my own end, and obviously get some more views and get some merch sold, which I haven't even pushed to you guys, and get some sponsors, which I'm working on. And then, this will all be easier, but also memberships and super chats, like 99 cents, $1.99, a couple dollars for a membership. Those really help. I'll just tell you. What else do we have? So we got also Jim is showing you from 3 to 5 p.m. It is Central because they are in Central time there in Minnesota. Nobody seems to ever really know if I here am in Central time. Everybody always thinks that, and I'm not. I am, in fact, the furthest west part of the Eastern time zone. Oh, look at this. I got 2 of these. You guys are the best. Chocoa Blanc, you are awesome. $9.99. Thank you so much. Seriously. Again, that's how we do this. And hold on, the other one shot by. Robin M, thank you too. I really appreciate it. Super chat. Cheers, Cliff. Thank you. Cheers to you too. And happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. Those two, again, that's very helpful to me. Helps me do more of this. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, did I get a member? I did. Diane Davidson. How did I miss you? Thank you so much. New member. I seem to have missed a few things. We got Locomotion before, so we're going to put you up again because you've been kind enough. Thank you. We're going to also Charcoal Blanc, $9.99. Thank you so much. Robin M, the cheers. Thank you so much. And a new member. I love it. We love new members. Diane Davidson. Thank you so much. Seriously. All right, we're back to the live tab here. Anybody want to join them? If you do, fantastic. Yes, Moskowitz said something nice about a MAGA congresswoman. I see that. That's from Amy O'Connor. Yeah, that's Moskowitz has been taking some heat lately, I think, for some of these things. But I always feel like, I always feel like that, we've got something where, and I'm totally losing my train of thought, and I apologize. People make mistakes. Think in your own life, if everybody was watching you every minute and you said something you wish you hadn't said or wish you hadn't done, I feel like with people of good faith, this is what I'm trying to teach folks on our side. Don't attack first. Like I've said to you before, anybody here wants to critique me, absolutely do it. If you come to me in good faith and kindly say, hey, Cliff, you can do this better. Hey, you can do that. It'll never upset me. I'm a secure dude. I'm happy with myself. If you go out of your way to insult somebody, they're not going to probably take it well, right? So And if you get mad at every mistake anybody makes, Moskowitz makes mistakes. Other Democrats have made mistakes that have pissed us off too. He's doing a great job. And Mr. WW, who said, you're doing fine, Cliff, nothing happens fast. Trust me, dude. I've been in politics for 25 years. I don't expect anything to happen fast. And the most YouTubers don't get rich. I didn't start this to get rich. I could stop doing this tomorrow. Okay. I have another business that thankfully does pretty well. I can't forever dump money from that business into this one. I'm not looking to get rich. I'm looking for this thing to be self-sufficient. That's all. I'm looking for this thing to make a profit so I can actually do more of it. That's what I'm going for. I don't think that's a lot to ask because it's a lot of hours I put in here. I do my best, and I put in hours in other spots too, besides here. And I'm just trying to help the team. But if I want to be lazy, I could just stop doing this and my other job would pay for my lifestyle. Okay. So I appreciate it, but I'm not looking to get rich. I'm looking to keep this channel sustainable. That would be nice. Let's see, what else do we have here? Almost half of the dairies in California are in quarantine right now. Is that true? Carta, is that true information? Because, oh God. Yeah. Well, maybe we can get Robert Kennedy there soon to help out. We got bird flu. We got lots of bad things happening. You know what, though? We got lots of good things happening, too. It's Thanksgiving. And so how about we, all of us that are lucky enough that we can put food on our tables and spend time with our families, we should try to be pretty happy with that. Yeah, I thought it was avian flu. I don't know. I mean, if it's going to happen right now, at least we still have competent people in there. So hopefully they're taking care of doing whatever needs to be done right now. The problem is whenever they stop doing that. White noise, you are my knight, white knight, shining armor. I don't know what you're. Matthew McConaughey, 2028. All right. You know what? I would take good old McConaughey. Just rewatched, what was it? True Detective. Not saying he's perfect. Not even saying he's a deep thinker necessarily. But I will take that man. At least he seems like a nice guy. I'd take him over Trump 8 billion times and then some more. What else do we have? Come on, guys. We need some more comments here. Either they be in the super sticker, super chat, super something form, or just regular human form. But we need some more stuff. Matthew is a Trump supporter. I don't think he is. Rose Blake. I've never seen that, and I would be shocked. I could be wrong. Steve Manning, I've got bad news for you. You're looking forward to listening to Bob Seska after this. Bob will, I think, have a taped show today, but we're not doing it live, as Bill O'Reilly would say. Bob decided to take today off, and I don't blame him. All of us have had a hell of a ride. We all thought we were going to have a little bit of a vacation after November 5th. Was that the day? It's been so long, and it's not turned out that way. It's been actually worse since the election. There's been more work to do to try to pre-plan and put some large sticks, some large metal objects in the gears and break them down to stop the Matt Gaetzes of the world. So, we all need some time. I mean, as I said to folks, right now I'm definitely doing today because here I am. It's me, I promise. I'm not like that fake Melania character that goes around. Lefty Gramps, who's in Ohio, and I can only guess from your comments. Thank you. You're awesome. Great. I appreciate the super sticker. Thank you. Stephen, thank you for understanding. And even me, I am burnt out, but I'm not going to everybody needs what they need, and I don't question anybody else. And hopefully they don't question me. I decided I definitely wanted to do this today. And I definitely want to do one tomorrow. As I've said, I will do at least one that's like a half hour to 45 minutes of question and answer tomorrow at 2. And then if the good Mr. John Fugelsang can still do it, it'll be an even longer one. But for me, Thursday, I won't work Friday. Thursday through Sunday will be off, and I'm going to be going away towards the end of the year. So there will be a week off then too. We all are going to need some time. And again, everybody's different, but those 4 days, or if you want to start from Wednesday night through Sunday, really should do a good job of helping me pull it all back in. If something changes and I suddenly feel like I can't do it tomorrow, I'll let you know. I mean, look, it's been tough for all of us, but right now, I think I'm going to do it. I'm feeling pretty good. Agreed. Stephen John Fugel saying is the best. One of the best people. I mean, problem is I could say that about the people I had on here today. I could say that about Bob Seska, who you mentioned before. Fugel saying, I really have tried. There's some people in this business that are doing great work, but they're not naming names. I'm just going to say they're not always the most pleasant people behind the scenes, and I've really tried to spend my time with people that are just terrific people. They're just great people. They're as good on camera as off, and we still need the people who are good on camera, but aren't necessarily the nicest people off to win. But that is how I have chosen my crew. Thank you for putting that up, Jim. And we have a new member. It's like C3PO. I kid because I love it. C7557. Thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. That is outstanding. And I have just hired, I'm choosing between two folks. I shouldn't say it, but I may hire both. On the admin side, and I think I've been telling you all that once that happens, guess what? That's when the YouTube memberships and the Patreon memberships take off in terms of all the extra content there. I just need to have somebody to help me. And now, after Thanksgiving's over, I get to make that choice or maybe choose both for various items. And I will not be working on this thing all day, every day. And, that's an exaggeration, but a lot of the day. So therefore, because, even when you're not on camera, there's like a ton to do. There's rebrandings to do. There's things, all sorts of new gadgets to add. There's videos to edit. There's, for me to do this, after this, we got to grab that rant I did at the beginning when I was hearing myself. And that's going to be, a 3 to 5 minute video that I'm going to post separately, tape that I'm going to put out there for you guys. There may be some shorts we grab from here. When I got from here, there's another short that I'm going to create that has some of the, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff to do. And I'm not complaining in the slightest. As I told you, I could stop anytime. I believe in it. And I'm glad that I hope it's making a difference. Even if it's making some folks happy and you're enjoying it, then it's making a difference as far as I'm concerned. Maggots, go ahead and drink that raw milk. Yeah. Listen, it didn't help us in this election, but a net 18,000 more Republicans passed away because they would not take care of themselves during our disease a few years ago. I'm being careful with my words because they've been demonetizing me lately and they get all nutty over that stuff. And I don't even want to, it's really annoying. That's one of the annoying things about YouTube is that it can be really innocent stuff, but because bad people have shared conspiracies about it, if you say something about it, we had something like that happen with an election where I was trying to debunk people who were lying about it. And then I ended up getting my channel suspended for a week because they thought I was saying it. So are MAGAs going to reconcile the fact, come to terms about Trump's Secretary of State selection of a George Soros protege who's married just like Buttigieg? Yeah, there's a lot of those in there. It's kind of fun. These are the ways. I don't know what they're going to come to terms with. I know that they're going to be angry because they're always angry. I mean, it's their default. They're deeply insecure, deeply angry at their station in life, and they try to find people to blame. It ends up being us. But I think that they'll accept some things. I mean, again, different people accept different things, right? The Christian right isn't going to accept anybody who is a married gay person. So they'll freak out about that. Others will freak out, about other aspects of these different nominees. But as long as they're all fighting, I know you meant Treasury, by the way. State is Rubio, and it's different. The Treasury one is the one who, and you know what? Let them fight. Let them fight. In fact, I think we should even encourage it. When you talk about the campaign not being over, the best thing you can do right now is share comments by one Republican faction attacking another Republican faction, or one Republican attacking another Republican, or one MAGA host attacking another one, because the more you can get them to fight with each other, the less effective they'll be. Thank you. This is really happening. Member for 2 months. You're awesome. You are awesome. You've stuck with the program, and the rewards shall be bountiful. They shall be plenty very soon. Is that true, Amy? Hobby Lobby is the one carrying Hanukkah merch? I mean, not that I would go there. Well, I don't really celebrate anything, but if I were celebrating Hanukkah, I wouldn't really go there for my Hanukkah merch. But just the fact that they don't even have it kind of sends a message. This country is headed towards a lot of people who used to do things because they just felt it was the right thing to do or it looked right. And I think that they've now gotten the message, because you can be a massive criminal and be a massive traitor and be a rapist and be a lifetime con man who hasn't paid workers, hasn't paid contractors, hasn't paid business partners, ripped them off, and every other negative thing you can think of, and you can be president. I really can't wait. Some of the people I know voted for Trump to see how they explain that to their kids when they try to tell their kids good lessons about who they should grow up and be. Crime does pay, apparently. Have fun teaching your kids that message. What else we got? Jews have made a fortune off of Christmas for centuries. Actually, Chinese restaurants where I was growing up in New York made a fortune off of Christmas because Jews went and ate there. So I'm not sure. I'm sure Jews sell Christmas ornaments and things, if that's what you're talking about, and Christmas trees. But I think everybody's made a fortune off of Christmas, kind of like every one of the holidays that we've pumped up. I don't think you need to single out Jews there. Oh, they haven't sold Hanukkah goods ever? See, that should just tell you. I don't go into Hobby Lobby because I would rather chop off my left foot. So I don't know what they have in there. I know nothing about it. Same with Chick-fil-A. I did have to go there once because we had to meet some friends, kids who were friends of our kids, so they could play there. And I really just started feeling kind of gross the minute I walked in. Yeah, Pepsi Max, you are correct. Hey, listen, part of my family actually in this country, when they're here in the 20th century, they sold booze. Here's a good story for you. And so they sold booze, and there was a thing that I'm sure you're all familiar with called prohibition. They could not sell booze anymore. But as you may also know from our civil rights era, there are certain states that never listened to what the federal government said. And we're dealing with it again right now. Alabama was one of those. So they moved down to Columbus, Georgia, which is a walk across a bridge to go get into Alabama, and they sold their booze there. And they actually lived in the South for about a dozen years. My grandmother even had a Southern accent, which was pretty funny. And then they moved back up. But while they were down there to fit in, so there wouldn't be a pogrom, they all celebrated Christmas. And they brought it back up with another religious party, even for the most part. But just they get like a miniature tree, that kind of thing, give presents, play, and my family always did it. We never really knew why. And that's why, because they had done it for years there and just kind of went with it. Christmas is a pagan holiday. Well, the tree is certainly very pagan. And Jesus' birth is the same date as about 15 different gods that preceded him. Most religions, to bring in adherents, will create their own religion, but then they will steal aspects of other religions. That's how you rebrand. That was how people rebranded back then, and they brought in more followers. So yes, Christianity has plenty of paganism in it. Who heard the joke? Oh, this better not be bad, about taking all the foreigners, Jews, and Arabs out of the manger scene. What was this? You are left with a donkey and a bunch of sheep. That, Jesse James, may be worth quoting. That may be worth quoting. That's good stuff. What else? What else we got? You guys are all guessing who they are. Religious figures. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this without screwing something up. Always a good question. Religious figures born on December 25th. Oh, religious figures born to virgins on December 25th. Even better, because that never happened before. Let's see. Roman Emperor Constantine. Come on, guys. Greek and Roman times. Stars, meteors, blah, 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 blah. Virgin birth, obsession with virginity. We know about that. That's weird dudes. The Egyptian queen Mutemwa gave birth to Pharaoh Enkempt on that date. Attis, a Phrygian Greek vegetation god, also born a virgin then. Who did Dionysus? Was he born then? Yeah, we could go on and on. before he lost his mind and did the fun Religulous. If you ever saw it by Bill Maher, he had like a whole list of the characters of various religious figures born on December 25th. It's a very long list. Glad to be part of your tribe, Cliff. Well, thank you, Jojo Giggles. I don't know which tribe, if you mean the tribe. Yeah, we're in that tribe. But if you mean the liberal tribe, that too. If you mean the sane tribe, we're in that one. You mean the aren't going to let MAGA loser right-wing nuts who smell and act like weak old feces take over our government and run it forever? We're in that one too. See? Lots of good tribes. The birth of Jesus was in the spring, not December, based on the Bible. I'm reading what you're saying, Amy Jackson. Changed to match the winter solstice celebrations. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff changed in there to, again, that's how you bring in the folks. All right, guys, I think we're getting all the above. Thank you. Good tribes. So I think we're getting there. You're going to make me do my Jerry Maguire? Come on, just one more. Give me one more. Come on. Just one more super sticker. Doesn't matter how small. One more super chat. Come on. Come on. One more member. I just need one more member. Which member's leaving with me? Who is it? Come on. Come on. Who is it? Oh, are you guys going to leave me hanging? You're going to make me look bad like Tom Cruise almost did. No more members? No more super chats? No more super stickers? Are we truly done? Have we reached the end? We may have reached the end. Hey, listen, guys. You're all awesome. I hope you take some. Oh, look at that. You guys are fantastic. Gifted a Cliff's Edge membership, MJ. You rock and you also roll, and I really appreciate it. White Noise again coming. Come on, guys. White Noise is coming here twice and give me $10 super stickers or super chats. Come on. Other folks can do it. And look at that. Mr. WW, who's the one who's not picking fights with me, and some other folks here is gifting a Cliff's Edge membership, which makes you a wonderful dude. No, I appreciate all of it, guys. And that is a great way. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying to do it in a gauche way. I hope it doesn't come off as like Donald Trump trying to sell Trump NFTs or whatever. But I feel like that is a great way to end a show. To have some folks jump in and do that. We all leave on a good feeling. So I just want to say to you all, look, I love doing this. I appreciate your support in doing this. I plan to keep doing it. Hopefully we even get, and Jim, you keep doing this, Jim, gas money. Yeah. No, gas has gotten cheaper. Well, actually, it'll get more expensive when they hear about Trump, but gas has was under $3 here because it was. And, the media could have reported that, but then they would have had to give Biden or Harris some credit for something. And you really don't want to go, oh my God, you guys are all coming in now. You're almost, it's like an embarrassment of riches. Quantum Cricket, thank you so much. Seriously, the super sticker. That's outstanding and incredibly helpful. Thank you. And now we have Frida Love. Do drips drop or drops drip? That is an interesting one. Can drips drip? Can drops drop? No, drop doesn't drop. A drip, though, could drip, I think. So it could be that too. I think a drip drops. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, wow. That was actually more than I expected, guys. I was asking for one, and like 5 or 6 or 7 of you came through. Incredible. I hope you all are quite seriously, in a good place. I hope you're in a good place mentally. It's been a tough period of time. We all care about things a lot. And we've just seen, for me, the hardest part is, again, I've got kids and I believed in my country, and I'm having a hard time believing in my country right now. I don't like lying about stuff like that. I'm not proud to be an American, and I will be going on a trip to France where I lived for a bit down the road and not too far. And I don't even know if I want to. I feel like I almost want to identify as a Canadian. I mean, I never was one of those people who I feel like sometimes in the left, far left, but even regular left, who just sits there and lists all the horrible things about America. Yeah, there are plenty of bad things here. There also are in every country in the world. And we did some amazing things that set forth some amazing precedents that I believe changed the world in terms of what a bunch of rich white guys did that wasn't nearly far enough, but for their time. And I think that the Declaration of Independence, certain things that cited throughout the world, right? But right now, like it's tough to be proud of this. It's tough to look at people I know and say that you looked at everything here, for all the crimes, the treason, or whatever, but just the character of this man, the selfishness, the cruelty, and you wanted that as the person you see on the TV regularly. You want your kids to see that. I'm really having a hard time right now accepting that. Still, that's the toughest part for me. I've seen people vote for stupid policies before. I mean, most of the Republican policies, as far as I'm concerned, are dumb. But this is different. This is about character. This is about the character of our country. And I don't know. I don't know that I trust the character of our country. I don't know that I trust. I mean, a lot of it's disinformation, but lies and all that. But shouldn't you be able to see through some of that? Shouldn't we be at least good enough to be able to see through that? I mean, I guess in some way you could look at it as they threw everything they had at us, from the Russian bomb threat to all the Elon Musk ads saying just the opposite stuff, lying. In Dearborn, Michigan, they're saying, don't let Jews in Israel control you. Like they do Kamala, she's married to a Jew, vote for Trump. And then, over in Philly, they're advertising to Jews saying, don't vote for Trump. He'll let Netanyahu do whatever he wants there. Don't, I assume only certain Jews, because that wouldn't have worked on me. But I mean, don't let the Arab terrorists, blah, 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 blah. I get it. There's disinformation. Trump had disinformation. Fox News did. I've had, Brian Karam, a brilliant journalist, on here. We talked about how that needs to be fixed. Tim Fullerton, a brilliant, digital guy who ran the interior, digital for interior department under Obama on. We've talked about it, like some very people smarter than me. I think a lot of us, I use dark humor to stay sane. Quantum cricket. Yeah. I've called it my gallows humor when people get angry at me. Various platforms is I have to have dark humor about certain stuff. I have to. It's part of the way that I keep my optimism. And I don't want to end this way. I want you to all, just to say to all of you, if you're feeling that way, I get how you're feeling, because I'm there. I still haven't fully reconciled, what went on. Thank you, Cecilia Ortiz, for joining. I really appreciate it. We love having you as a new member. And we're all gonna have to think about that. Just try to survive. You guys just won't. You're amazing now. Jose Santiago, super sticker. Thank you so much. $4 super sticker. We have to all, and just try to find the people that support you during Thanksgiving. If you have a couple crazy relatives around, know that this is a place where you're supported. It's been my whole goal is to create a community here, and hopefully we all support each other. If I can do anything to be helpful, I'll get Jim Williams, my friend, knows one of my email addresses. And if some of you folks need to reach out, I just can't promise you that I can get back to you right away. Who knows what's going on in life? I have teenagers. This isn't even my main job, as I've told you. There's some health issues with my mom, sadly, that have me traveling between here and New York. And so, there's challenges. And Jose Santiago with the huge win. Oh, no, my favorite holiday, that's good too. Sorry, Wayne. The Seine. That's right. I'm going to France soon, so that was a good one too. Go Yankees, baby. I don't know, Jose. I'm not sure we're getting Juan Soto, but in a way, if we can spend it on 2 or 3 really good players, it may be better. Okay, I'm going to get back to what I was saying here. I don't just say this lightly. Like, I am here, and I don't know that I can help anybody, but if I can, I will. We have to be a community. We have to be there for each other. So truly take an enjoyable Thanksgiving. Try to relax. Do the stuff you like. I love, if I can sit with my laptop sometimes by myself and watch a great streaming show. I just started watching, was it The Day of the Jackal, based on the earlier Jackals and whatever, British, this production. Like that, if you like spy kind of stuff. Thank you, Pat. That's a really kind thing to say. And Christina Wyville just said, I take care of my dad. Good for you for doing that. I mean, it's tough. I lost my dad 11 years ago now, and and so I've got my mom, but thank you for the C7557. It's not easy. But again, I don't want to end it sadly. I want to end it like we have each other, okay? And right now we have a democracy. And right now Matt Gaetz just lost, and we won the Alaska House, and we overturned an abortion ban in Wyoming. And we won a North Carolina Supreme Court seat that we weren't supposed to win by and we won more House seats. So they're going to be in disarray, and they've taken a bunch of House members out. We may actually have a 1-seat majority when we go back, or tied or down one. Their senators, hopefully Bob Casey takes the damn thing to court like what's his name did. I should have brought that up with Matt McNeil back in the day, where Al Franken, they wouldn't let him get on the Senate, so we'd have 60 votes forever. So I said Wellstone by mistake. I can't remember Coleman, who just took it to court. I hope that Casey takes it to court forever. We hold him to 52 seats, and then with Murkowski, Tillis, and maybe shocked face Collins, we can do some things. But there is a lot to be grateful for. And I don't know, nothing. I get knocked down, but man, am I singing Chumbawanga? I get knocked down. But I do get up again, and I get up ready to fight. And I don't like bullies, and I don't like bad people, and I'm gonna be ready to fight these. Let's call them these bad people, so I don't, after all this work, lose out on my monetization here. I'm gonna shut that down for a second. But have each other, hold each other, hang out with people you care about. There you go. Jim Rowland's binge watching The Odd Couple. That's something great to do. Read a great book. If you don't like watching stuff like I do, I read the books too. Try to, even for a day there, get away from politics. It's something you'll be able to do on Thanksgiving. Just try to enjoy yourself. Try to relax. Get sleep. Do what you need to do. Hit the gym if that's a possibility and you like doing that. Yoga, acupuncture. I don't know what your thing is, but do it. Go walk in the mountains if they're near where you live and take in the beauty. Meditate a little bit. Do whatever you need to do. But I'm just going to say that I appreciate all of you guys. You've given me a place here that feels a lot like home. My country feels less like home. My state feels less like home. My city more so, because we're very good here. But you guys have made this feel like home. For that, I can only appreciate you. So I want you to have a very merry, fantastic, awesome, and like all the other words that are like that, Thanksgiving. As I said, I will not be back on Friday, but even after I said all of this, if you're here tomorrow, I just assume some of you may not be around tomorrow. I will most likely be here tomorrow, almost definitively, and I'll probably say a lot of the same stuff I'm saying to you right now. So for now, enjoy your evening or Thanksgiving or both. If you're not here or I'm not here, and as the sun sets slowly in the west, I bid you a fond farewell, guys.